Welcome, welcome, welcome to the ill blur. Matic shooby-doo-doo, oh yeah. Welcome back to Ill Blur Matic. What is going on, guys? Today, welcome back to another video. And today's review is going to be on the Pursuit of Happyness, starring Will Smith, also Jaden Smith, and Tandy Newton. So let's get right into this film. So the film starts off with Will Smith's character and learning that he's pretty much a father and him struggling to make ends meet. We see him pretty much he's like this person that sells medical devices to like hospitals and to doctors' offices. We also are introduced to his son, Christopher Gardner. And we're also introduced to the wife, which is played by Tandy Newton as well in this film. But the film is literally based on a true story. So pretty much he's trying to make ends meet. He seems like he's frustrated with the job that he has selling these medical devices because sometimes people do purchase the devices, but what we learned in the actual movie is that the only way he can make a decent amount of money off these is literally selling 2 a month. So if he doesn't meet his quota, selling 1 doesn't do it. But also we have to realize with this character, Chris Gardner pretty much is literally struggling. You know what I'm saying? He's not able to pay bills. He came to pay the person for daycare. On top of that, he's not having the best time selling these devices at all. Like, it's hard to get people to buy into something. You know what I'm saying? And we see that in the film. The other issue that we see in this film is his wife. His wife is played by Tandy Newton. She's Linda Gardner. Linda Gardner's not the best wife that you could imagine. She's a little bit bitter, mean, cruel to Chris in some ways where I'm like, yo, y'all in a marriage together, you know what I'm saying? But we see at some point, and I'm glad they did a flashback in this film, where they were at some point they had good times together as husband and wife, but it started to dwindle, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was because the kid was involved in this or what the case may be, but she was supportive of him at some point when he was selling these medical devices at the beginning. They put their, you know what I'm saying, their hard-earned money into this stuff to like sell these medical devices. And, you know, maybe she felt like this wasn't it anymore. We also see her struggles too. I did like that. We saw Linda's struggles. She was working 2 jobs while Chris wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying? But the other thing about this film that makes it interesting is Chris decides to go another direction. And sometimes in life it's like that. I did like that aspect of the film. He ends up coming across a stockholder and talking to him briefly. And he said, you know, you don't need a college education to be a stockholder. And that ignited the fire in Chris to decide to pursue this actual new opportunity. And pretty much, you know, he wanted this opportunity. He eventually got it, you know what I'm saying? But the problem is now his marriage is like kind of like on the edge, meaning like this is not going to work. We see there are scenes where him and Linda are in bed together and she's not really happy with Chris at all. Even when the son's birthday came up, you know, you could see that she just still wasn't really happy. And we see them kind of grow apart in the film. Sometimes, you know, being married to someone is not always quite what it seems. And we see eventually that the marriage ends. But the thing is, they're struggling. They're fighting over the kid. You know, Chris like, no, that's my son. She's like, no, that's my son. But Chris, in reality, was the better person to take care of the son. The mother's new job, because she confirmed it to Chris, they had a conversation. She's like, oh, by the way, I got a new boyfriend, and I'm going to New York and stuff. And literally, Chris was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess Chris knew that it was time to be. He's like, and she said, just tell my son, tell him I love him and all this stuff. And we could see the heartfeltness, like she was crying. Chris, you could tell, was a little upset. He probably wasn't expecting that. And also, I forgot this movie takes place in San Francisco in 1981. Forgot to mention that. But yes, we see that happen. I was like, wow. I was amazed, you know, because I'm pretty sure Chris, he wanted his family to stay together. But unfortunately, that was not the case. And we see, you know, them saying their farewells to each other. Also, we see other things that Chris struggled with. He got the internship to the stockholder, but he didn't look the part. You know what I'm saying? So that was another struggle. Also, the struggle of selling these last remaining medical devices that Chris had. Some of them had got stolen. One was stolen by a hippie. The other one was stolen by a homeless person. And we see Chris not having money. You know what I'm saying? He's struggling to make money and everything. So, you know, chasing a dream or something that you really have, we saw him struggle. He even was homeless at some point, you know, him and his son and everything. And, you know, the only thing he had was his son. That's why he was so, like, even when they were trying to get him to go into, like, the homeless shelter, he's like, no, it's going to be me and my son. It's not just going, you're not going to just take my son, you know. And we see the emotional barrier, literally, like how much he cared for his son, because all he had was his son. And we also see him figuring out ways to come up, you know what I'm saying, in the internship, because you had to know a certain amount of information and everything and stuff like that. And they had to take some type of a test. And we see Chris, even though he wasn't able to make the hours like the other stockholders due to him having a son, he made a way. That's what I loved about this character. I said, Will Smith, okay, he made a way in this movie as Chris. Also, I loved about this movie is, despite all the things he went through, he still had hope. You know what I'm saying? Him and his son, and it made their bond a little bit closer. He was closer to his son. They would do things together. He took, you know, his son to a football game with one of the people that was a CEO. He also took him out to eat. So their bond had grew a little bit closer. You know what I'm saying? Even though his son missed his mother, of course. But we saw that in the movie, the transition of that. And Chris having to lie to his son, the real reason why his mother left. Like that's heartbreaking, man. Like, just imagine yourself telling your child, if you have a child, why your actual, you know, the other parent left. He couldn't have the heart to tell us the real reason why that happened. And I'm glad that he did not tell. I mean, eventually I'm pretty sure he found out Christopher, his son, but it's unfortunate sometimes it's like that. He didn't want to make it seem like his mother maybe was the enemy or not. But like I said, Tandy Newton played the mess out that role. I love the ending because Chris eventually gets the job at the stockholder firm. You know what I'm saying? He passed the test and everything. It's going to come back. And I gotta say, this is like one of my favorite Will Smith films. I gotta give this film an A+. Like, the story was motivational, like to chase your dream despite if other people don't see it the way you want to see it. And just the chemistry between, you know what I'm saying, him and his son, Will Smith and Jay Smith's son, they felt like a father and son. I really loved that aspect of it. And Tandy Newton, even though I didn't like her as much, I was like, oh, Tandy Newton, I can't stand you in this movie. But I really liked that she played the mother role, even though she was the, like, you know what I'm saying, the toxic wife to some sense. And I was like, ugh. But it was an interesting film, motivational. And, you know, sometimes you got to face hardships. That's the reality of chasing something that you want to pursue in life. But this is your boy, Blurmatic. Have you seen The Pursuit of Happyness? You tell me in the comments, guys. Thanks for watching, and I am out. Blurmatic, and the saga continues. Oh, yeah.